just want to, have like another good conversation as before, just, you know, talk. You know what I mean? Sorry, me turn my volume down so it's not like blasting the video like last time. I don't know if that's any better or not, but yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you're all doing good. I don't know when this video's going up, but I hope you guys are all doing your best. Being your best, taking it day by day. Um, for this video, I'm not too sure what I really want to discuss. I can discuss, you know, myself, my career, not my career, just career, work, relationships, family, all that stuff. You know what I mean? All that can be discussed. We can take it step by step, video by video. Um, but I just like in this video, I want to discuss, you know, yourself. Sorry, you guys. You can see I'm playing on my guys. I'm playing on a custom app or creative, whatever you want to call it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I think it's probably best I just land, do something, move around. But yeah, I just kind of just wanted to discuss like working on yourself and like what does that feel like to work on yourself. So I don't know if you guys recall, but like in my last video, I talked about how I just out of a relationship, and how I've been single basically for I just got out of a 2-year relationship, and I've been single for about 2 months, give or take, you know, maybe a month and a half, really. And well, he kind of took me off. Yeah, but yeah, just kind of just want to discuss like what it means working yourself basically, and as someone who struggled in like knowing myself for such a long time, and still to this day I don't know myself. I would never admit that. Hey, I know everything I want. I know what I want to do in my life in the next 5 years. I know what I want to do tomorrow. I don't even know what I want to do for dinner. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to play this game. I don't know what I want. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's kind of one of the biggest struggles as anybody, as a man, as a son, as a human, is knowing yourself, like understanding your values and understanding what you want in this life. No, you never know what can happen tomorrow. You never know what can happen next week. You know what I mean? Anything in that case can happen. You can find a new career. You can find new friendships, relationships. You can find your dream job or maybe your dream car. It's so many things that can happen. And again, we're only in the first week of January. We have you know 360 days or 61 days left. Like we have so much time, but in the sense that we don't. But that's another philosophical, talk for another day. But again, the talk for today is just like knowing yourself and like how, what is it possible, or not is it possible, like finding ways to know yourself. You know what I mean? Finding ways to know yourself. And I would say, just from my perspective, just give a background. It's like, again, recent relationship, and during that time, I struggled internally with knowing what I wanted throughout that relationship. As this was my first serious relationship, this was my first time, being with somebody that I genuinely cared for and like wanted to grow with. And I I thought I had it all together. I thought I had it figured out. I thought, oh man, like this is a piece of cake. Like, relationships, they're not that difficult. It's like you just have to, be respectful and yada 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 yada. It's just like, my God, you show me, if you would have told me this how relationships are, like I would have been surprised. uh, but again, I struggled in myself. I struggled in insecurity. I struggled in taking things serious when they should have been serious. I struggled in, you know, showing my love and showing ways that I care. You know what I mean? I will say that, yeah, I did a lot, in my past relationship. When it came to supporting, financially, emotionally, physically. Like I was always present. But where I lacked in the most is the the realm of being considerate and being empathetic and sympathetic throughout the relationship, and knowing when I should and shouldn't say things, and knowing the appropriate time or inappropriate time, when things should and shouldn't be discussed. I struggle with that. What I mean, I always, you know had this thing be just like, let's play around, let's joke. You know what I mean? Where you know, you don't, you can't joke every time. You know what I mean? Not everything is a joke. Not everything can be taken serious. Not everything can be, you know, serious one minute and a joke the next. I struggled in that. I struggled in, you know, unintentionally making jokes that I should have known and considered as inappropriate and not something I should say, but saying them anyways and being a complete and utter shock when that other person doesn't see it the way I see it. You know what I mean? I struggle with, again, being serious and prolonging things when they should have just been a moment of being real and a moment of being vulnerable and a moment of, talking your stuff. You know what I mean? And not just, if I'm joking around, then you must know that I'm being serious. Again, that's not the case for everybody. You can, you can be a happy go person. You can be a joke, pop jokes every 5 minutes. But you have to realize that, again, not everyone likes a joke. Not everything's a joke. Especially, read the room. That was my biggest thing. It's like I always say, oh, I can read the room. I can read the room. I can do this. Like, I can read the room, but I was not reading, the room. I was not taking notes of the situation. I was not being present when I should have been. And it could have been a coping mechanism. It could have been a way I would have to cope with the reality of things and how things are. It could have been the case. You know, we all have ways of coping with trauma and pain and X, Y, Z. And then with that, I feel like now, being in a relationship and kind of just like, being on my own, like I don't know if this is the real thing or not, but there's a change in your dopamine. Like your dopamine just checks out. It's like you're so used to talking to someone. You're so used to hanging out. You're so used to kind of just doing so much Because that, yeah, and then that becomes your routine. You know, that becomes the person that you rely on. That becomes the person that you look to for answer. You know, whatever the case, that whatever that person may be to you, that's that person, and your body's so it's so used to relying on that. It's like one day, like you don't have them. It's like your body's like, what's happening? Your you know your hormones are just off balance. You're not getting that same pleasure you had, when you spoke to them. You're not getting that same, butterfly effect in your stomach that you had. Like all of that just kind of disappears, or it doesn't disappear, but it's thrown out of balance. A better way to say it. You're so used to feeling this way. I thought that was a humongous squid. I was like, yo, but yeah. So we so yeah. And it's like it's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm in a place where it's just like, where am I going with this? You know what I mean? Like, where do I see this relationship going? Where do I see any of my relationships in the future? If they, if I get back in another relationship in the future, or if I go back to this relationship in the future, it's just like, where do I, as a person, where do I go? Do I, I want to change. I want to be better for myself. It doesn't have to be for anybody. I want to be better for myself. I want to learn how to, again, and learn how to joke. I learn how to play, learn how to be, childish, youthful, whatever you want to call it. And also learn how to be an adult. At the end of the day, I am an adult. I'm 23. I'm an adult. I'm not a kid. I'm not a teenager. I'm a young adult. I'm new to the game. I'm new to this adulting life. Do I like it? Not really. Do I have, bills and groceries and cars and, going to work? It's just like, school does not prepare you. Let's be real. But, yeah, I want to change. I want more for myself. I'm not looking to hop into any relationships. I'm not looking for, oh, give me one more chance. Give me another shot. I'm not looking for that. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. You know what I mean? You can't dwell on the past. You can't do things because if I do this, then they'll take me back. No, you have to do it because you want to do it. You have to do it because that makes you a better person. That makes you a better woman. That makes you a better man. That makes you a better mother or father or brother or sister or, coworker or employee or whatever the case may be. Friend, you know. That makes you better because you put in the work. You considered what, you know, the problems. You thought about what you struggle with the most. And now you determined that, hey, I struggle with lust. You know what I mean? That's a struggle that I've struggled with. It's a struggle, that people, struggle with. You know what I mean? And I would say that if you struggle with lust, you find the reason on like why do you believe that lust is a struggle? You know what I mean? Where you introduced to things like this at a young age, where you exposed to it, all that other stuff. Like, this is the way that you feel like you can love somebody. Is this the way that you think that love should be? I mean, sometimes you can just do it because you want. You know what I mean? But that's at the end of the day, there is a reason on why you do things. And again, like I said, lust is a struggle that for men and women, and at the end of the day, humans have. We can be lustful. We can want things of that nature, whether it's biological or not psychological, you know what I mean? We can let those feelings like drive us. What planet did I just come from? Is it that planet? Oh gosh, I got there quick. Let's try that again. Like, was it that quick? I left that planet. It's like I just looked up and I was, yeah, you can see that time right there. Well, let's go to another universe. Um, but yeah, it can, that can be a struggle. You know, this is like how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this circle of lust? How do I beat these ceilings? You know, am I watching corn too much? Am I talking to women too much? Am I, you know, sexualizing the opposite or same sex more than I should? You know what I mean? It's like you have to acknowledge those things first before you try to fix a problem. You can't fix a problem that if you don't know what the problem is. You know, it's like, or steps on how to fix it. You know what I mean? I can't just give my car to a mechanic and be like, fix my car. Like, what's wrong with your car? You know what I mean? So it's just like that. That should be the first step is acknowledging, hey, I have a problem. Hey, I want to fix the problem. I want to overcome lust. I want to overcome, you know, my rudeness. I want to overcome my anger. I want to overcome my rage. I want to overcome my disrespectfulness. And now you have to not only speak it that hey, I know what I want, but you have to also have to you have to be motivated. You have to be disciplined really to do that. You know what I mean? That motivation stuff is going to be here today and be gone tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna feel motivated one day, and then you wake up, you're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to, I don't want to take my steps. I don't want to eat right. You know what I mean? And we all struggle because in the world we're human. We're making mistakes. We're going to have a lot of errors in our ways and in our thought process, and that's just like how things work. You know what I mean? Oops, that was an accident. Please don't shoot me. You know what I mean? You have to again understand that the error of my ways need to be fixed. Again, like I said, I would say within myself and within my relationship, again, my struggle was, not being serious or saying, being harsh and, not thinking before I speak. I was like, those are my biggest problems in general. You know what I mean? Uh, I want better for me. I don't want people to know me as someone who's disrespectful or someone who can't be serious or someone who is rude or disrespectful. I don't want to be known as that. You know what I mean? I want to be somebody that people actually genuinely care about it. You know, no, I'm not for everybody. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to please every soul on this earth. Don't get me wrong. Oh, that would be tiring. But I want the people that know me or are interested to know me to know myself and my character. You know that I'm not this. Yeah, what's going on or something. It's a land. You have to bear with me forgot how to build a home in this game. But yeah, you know what I mean. Uh, so yeah, I really want to work on that. You know, and I have been. I want to continue on this like YouTube, journaling and kind of just talking to myself and talking to, kind of you understand, but also like talking to y'all, the people that are listening to this video. You know what I mean? It may be one viewer, it may be 5 billion. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, this as long as it's gonna help one person, that's what matters. What is that? This game is not real. Listen, like, what is this? I'm sorry. We need a closer look at you. Like, what creature, what God created this creature? Like, this is definitely like man made. This is how where our ground beef comes from. But yeah, I want to be better. I want to be better. I've been again when it comes to my note taking and understanding like my errors as a person, and understanding like that for me to get better, I'll have to look better for myself. And the only way to do that is to acknowledge your problems, acknowledge your errors, acknowledge your mistakes, and, and get better. Um, Only you can want that for yourself. No one else can do that for you. Other dad, friends, and family, and partners can't hold your hand each step of the way. And, oh, you need to work on this, and I'm going to help you. It's like no, they will let you know. They're going to tell you, hey, you got an attitude problem, or you have an anger issue, and it's like don't take that as a sense of rudeness. Take it as a way of growing. Take it as a okay. So and so says I have anger issues. So and so say I can be harsh. You know what I mean? You know, no matter if I'm joking or not. Like take that as a way of growing because that at the end of the day, that builds your relationship. That shows that person next to you like, hey, I can rely on them for help. I can rely on them to change. I can rely on them for whatever because it is like them changing for themselves and that me acknowledging, hey, you're this and seeing progress and change shows so much. And if that person doesn't talk to you anymore, it's like I did it for me. You know what I mean? Just I'm one step better. I'm one. Sorry, you're getting my dog in the background. She's streaming. So okay, you know what I mean. You have to be better for that. And sorry, petting my dogs. And yeah, at the end of the day, you are going to be in your body until death do you part. So better get used to it. Oh, this is cool. This is so cool. To an extent, it looks kind of weird. Don't get me wrong, but let's see what you are. That is not bad. But yeah, I mean, you have to accept, see how this thing runs. You have to grow. At the end of the day, you have to grow. You know, you're not a child, well, unless you are a child. You know what I mean? But you're not a baby. You're not in Pampers. No one's gonna hold your hand. You have to do better for you. 'Cause no one's gonna want you around if you're, you know, a Debbie Downer. If you're a disrespectful person. If you're X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? No one's gonna want you around. You don't even want to be around. You know what I mean? So take those things as as a way of like growing. You know what I mean? Don't think that they're here to get at you and to hurt you. Well, if they are, then that's not a problem. But it's the same thing, but just a more mature version of it. It's pretty cool. Like imagine this chasing you is like, what do you do? You know what I mean? Like, do you? What do you do? So again, like my biggest thing I'm working on is like controlling my temper, controlling my tone, controlling my actions and the things I say. And again, I'm doing so much self reflecting throughout this time. Like I understand my errors, I understand my ways, I understand, you know, and I understand how this affects people for real. And now at this point, it's you know, now let's put it to action. Now let's practice ways on showing affection. Let's practice ways on saying something nice. You know what I mean? Let's practice ways on being emotionally mature. You know what I mean? We've already acknowledged the problem. We've already acknowledged the problem. We've already, you know, acknowledged ways that we can solve it. So now let's just do it. You know what I mean? I do not like that. That is unworldly. That's like the biggest handicap. It's just like you just lean. It's like one of those ducks that like dip into the water. It's just like bloop, bloop, bloop. Little top hats. But yeah. So I think I'm gonna kind of end the video around here. I don't know how far we are into the video. I actually don't. So let's get a space shot. Let's go into space and kind of end it off there. Bear with me. 1 second. Oh, shot them on accident. But yeah, everybody, thanks for whoever listens to this video. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Again, as long as I can help somebody, give somebody better insight, give myself better insight, like that's my goal. So hope you guys are. I thought I was getting attacked. I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you guys are happy and healthy, and you're focusing on your personal growth. And I hope that you take it a day at a time. You're not too harsh on yourself. Pressing the wrong buttons. Yeah. Take care. I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace out.